What if I told you that starting my photography business actually hurt me more than I ever could imagine? Like, it really stung. I remember the confusion, the not knowing, the going through the whole process of trying to just figure things out. Now, if you're in this position right now, I got something for you. I want to show you the 6 things that I wish someone taught me before I started my photography business. And hopefully by the end of this video, it may help you in overcoming these things and hopefully get you on the path of, instead of spinning your wheels, to where you can actually build the business that you want that's going to give you the freedom and to get paid to do what you love to do. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I wish someone told me when I first started my photography business was not to focus mainly on the gear. Yes, the gear. Now, there's so many options out there. There's options of different DSLRs or mirrorless cameras or lens choices or lighting choices. Honestly, the one thing that you just need to do is have something just to get started with. Like, literally, you could start with your smartphone. Now, I'm not telling you that you should start photography, like a full-blown business with your smartphone, but that's an option, to be completely honest with you, especially if you're in the business just to do reels for someone. But if you have a camera, learn the settings on the camera and just use what you have. A lot of the images that you may see, or a lot of the content that you may see out there, honestly, is not shot with the best things ever. Only certain creators or certain businesses have access to like the top of the line cameras. But a lot of the creative things that you see online that you say, oh my God, that is beautiful, were actually shot with kit lenses. They were shot with prosumer cameras that you could get out of box stores like Costco. So I really would just want you to focus more on just creating and capturing this scenario as it happens, instead of focusing so much on the gear. Because trust me, the gear is gonna come in time, like literally when you have more photo gigs and you're booking more photo gigs and you're making more money in your business, then you can upgrade your gear. But what you have is just enough for you to start with. Trust me on this one. I made that mistake, and I really wish somebody would have told me that earlier, because every lens that I saw was the next lens that I needed. And half the time, I didn't even know how to use the lens. So just take that word of advice from me. Just to let you guys know, I do have my phone here because I'm keeping with my notes, because I want to make sure that I'm staying on task with you all to really just get you guys the most value that I possibly can in the amount of time that I have. So number 2 is the charge based off the value, not based off your time. And this is the biggest mistake that I see most entry-level creators doing right now, is they're basing everything on time. They're saying, oh, that's only gonna take me an hour and a half, or it's gonna take me 2 hours, but you're not really thinking about the back end when it comes down to the editing portion. Because what if that takes 10 hours? What if that takes 5 hours? It's literally gonna take more of your time. So instead of you basing off of time or charging based off time, I want you to start charging based off the value. So for instance, if you're doing a family shoot, and a family shoot could range, let's say you have a family of 5 or 10. Imagine you have a family of 10 that you have to do a family session for. I want you to start basing those sessions based off the amount of people that you have, and also the amount of value that it's gonna bring. I'll get into the corporate structure maybe in another video, because this is where this is really gonna come into play when you're scaling your business, because it's not really based off the project that you have, is based on what is that video or what are those photos going to bring in for the value of the company. So we're back on the family session. I want you to base that off of, like, what is this bringing in? Is it a generational shoot that you're doing? How much impact are these photos going to have on this family? That's what you need to base your pricing off of. Now, some people may say, hey, what's the going rate for photography? Which is true. That is one thing. You don't want to be based so high out, especially when you're first starting off, because it may not be justified. But when you're in the game for a while, then your prices are justified based on the value that you're bringing to that client, the way that you interact with them, the way that you deliver out the photos. All that becomes part of your brand and the value that you bring. And that's my number 2 tip, is the price based off the value, not based off your time. Because trust me, the time is going to get away from you later on. And yet 3 is, this is a big one, and it's communication is more important than the camera. I have made countless videos about this, and this is like knowing the next shots to take before you actually take that shot, especially if you're on a couple shoot. Now, oftentimes what may happen, people may not take photos in front of a camera, or they may not just take professional photos that often. They may take a ton of photos on their phones and do things like that, or they take photos, you know, just as a couple. But to have someone standing in front of them and directing them to take photos is a whole nother ball game, especially if you're getting in a wedding game and it's an engagement session. You may get that question, or you may get that statement on the phone like,
my fiance, he doesn't really like taking photos. We don't really know how to pose.
So your communication is going to be key here, because this is going to set you apart from any other photographer who doesn't want to take the time to learn people, to learn to see what makes a person tick, to learn to think 3 poses ahead when they're just sitting here composing this shot. Things like that's going to come in time, but if you could skip that and really start honing your skills on that right now, like over communicating to the point where the client feels extremely comfortable with you, that's going to go way further than, let's say, for you coming in and just saying, well, I'm going to use this light over here because the lighting over here is going to look so much better on your skin, and it's going to give all these technical things that they really don't care about. They just want to make sure that you're communicating with them. And if you can communicate with your clients, oh my God, it's gonna go so far, because at the end of the session, you're always gonna get that, oh my God, you like literally just like posed us. You told us what to do. We just felt like we were in good hands with you, and you're gonna get that feedback, and that's when you know that you're doing it right. So number 4, I wanna go ahead and say is to learn to say no early. This is a big one. If you can learn how to tell people no early in your photography or videography journey as a business, this is going to take you so much further, because those gigs that you really do not want to do, you're not even going to entertain, and they're going to know that from jump. Because it's kind of like one of those things where you may hear people say, hey, I'm going to shoot it, but I'm just not going to post it. Why even do that? Especially if you're starting off in your photo and video journey. Hopefully you're in a position to where you don't have to do that particular gig for the cash, or you didn't need the cash. But if you're in that boat where you need the cash, trust me, I get that. I'm not in anybody's pockets. I'm not trying to, steer you away from business. That's not the case. But if you're starting off, you want to build your portfolio or your online portfolio based off the things that you want to shoot. If you don't want to shoot music videos like me, I do not like shooting music videos. That is not in my wheelhouse to where I could do it. Yes, I can do it, but I don't want to shoot music videos. I just won't do it. And this is a hard stance that I took very early on in my career. Just not one of the things that enticed me. It just didn't excite me creatively. It just did not. Now, I should take that word back, the entice word, because I was offered a lot of money to do video shoots, but it just wasn't something that, my brand, we believed that we did. We just weren't into it. So we were definitely okay to say no to certain clients, because again, that's just not something we did. But if you could have that earlier on in your career, like say for instance, if you're a male photographer and you get offered to do boudoir shoots and you do not want to do boudoir shoots, you just say no, I'm not going to do that. Especially if you're married with kids, you don't want to do that. No, not at all. So again, number 4 is just learn how to say no early, because it's going to save you so much time later on backpedaling, or just having that resentment when you're showing up to that shoot that you really don't want to do, that you wish you probably had someone fill in for you, but your company didn't want to do. Just learn how to say no early. It's definitely going to help you in your photography and videography journey. So number 5 is just kind of touching on what I just said before, is show the work that you want to be known for. Show the work that you want to shoot. So if you are in the wedding game and you want to attract more weddings, of course you want to show more images that are wedding like, more couples, more just solo shots with females, showing that you can pose females, solo shots of males, showing that you can know how to pose males, and preferably shots of male and females together, showing that you know how to pose couples. Even if you don't have any wedding shots yet, you know, that's a really good indication of a potential couple that's looking for you, that want to take that chance with you because they like you based off who you are and your personality. That's an easy way for them to get to see that, okay, I can see how they could pose us. And they've been doing family shoots, so they know how to, you know, kind of wrangle a group together. So when our promos come, they understand that, you know, let's give them a chance based off what they have. But if you want to shoot weddings, and if they go on your portfolio or on your online portfolio, if they go on your social channels, and you have things like cars, or you have things like, you know, you're just shooting birds or shooting flowers in a garden, even though the bouquet is something that you want to shoot when you're in a wedding. But if you just have things like that that really don't have any correlation to when it comes to weddings, it's gonna be harder for that client to book you because they're not really gonna see the potential that you could definitely possibly do this. If you're not aligned with the industry that you want to be in, you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot at that point because, you know, they're not gonna work with you. The other thing that I want to go ahead and touch on and just add to this number 5 is just be careful on your social profiles on who you are conveying yourself to be, because a lot of times I may see people trying to reach out and send DMs to, you know, small businesses because they really want to work with them, but you go on their page and it has nothing to do with small businesses, or showing that their videography work could be geared towards products because it's not anything to do with products. It only has things to do with like music videos or, you know, random one-off shoots that you're doing on your own. That's the camera's facing you and you're cursing and you're not dressed appropriately, that they want to be represented by you if you come into their establishment, and then they have customers coming in. So just be mindful of the things that you're putting on your social channels. If you want to have your private channel, that's one thing. But if you have a front-facing camera, front-facing camera. If you have a front-facing social platform for different corporate clients or small businesses to look at, you want to make sure it's airtight, because again, they're looking at that before they even call you. So if they look at that and they're turned off, guess what? They're not going to even call you. They're not even going to answer your DM at that point. And number 6, I want to make sure I get into this one. If you do not know the business side of the business, this will break you. And what I mean by that is you need to start thinking business early. Yes, you have a camera. Yes, you are very creative. Yes, you just want to go out there and shoot. But if you just only want to go out there and shoot, make sure you have some type of system in place to handle the back end once you're back from that shoot. And this is what I mean. So say for instance, you go out there, you shoot let's say a festival. Let's just say that you love this certain festival that comes into town every year. Finally, the moderators or the organizers of this event reached out to you because they know that you have a passion for it. So they reach out to you and they hire you, they book you. You just want to go out there because you just love to be in that environment with everybody. You love to be engaged with the people to get photos of them. But then your back end sucks because you never sent the contract, you never sent the receipt. You don't even have a way for them to track to see if the payment actually went through. Maybe it just hit your email, but you never sent them a receipt or a thank you or just a follow-up thing from anything, just saying, hey, received, this is what I'm gonna give to you. A lot of times I may see creators, they just jump into it, they go out, they shoot things, they may get paid cash, which is fine. Hey, if you get paid cash, I get it. But then there's nothing in exchange for that cash. You're not sending anything as far as saying, hey, these are the deliverables that I'm gonna give from my company. So there's no even exchange as far as saying, by you paying me this is what I will deliver to you. And sometimes the organizers, they just want somebody to shoot it. They don't even know what they want. They just need it captured. But it's up to you as the creative to make sure that you are setting some boundaries, some guardrails, and saying, for me showing up for this event, this is what we will make sure that we yield out or deliver out to you. And it could be a set number of images if you want to do that, or just a gallery if you want to say that, or you could say up to a certain amount of images. Don't just say, hey, we're going to deliver 50 images and you messed up and got 40. Just say you could go up to a certain amount of images if you want to put that on that. Now, if you ask, when you go on and you build trust with the corporation or the organizers or whoever you're working with, at one point that could probably come off because they now trust you, saying, when we pay you, we know that you will deliver X, Y, and Z. So you just want to make sure you have something in writing, because that's where the business part comes in. The execution part is coming in because now you have something that's written down. So if there's any discrepancy of saying that,
hey, you only gave us, 110 images from this 4-hour festival, what happened?
and you don't have anything to back that saying, yes, we delivered out the edited images from this event. We gave you a range of what you should learn to expect from that, but you didn't have that, then again, that's leaving a bad taste in the organizer's mouth when it comes to you, because they don't really know what you're offering, but you did take their money, and it just leaves them kind of feeling like they had the shorter end of the stick. And you don't want that. You want to make sure that your brand, when you go out there, is well represented, even if you're not there. So even if somebody's flicking through the images when they're back at the office, or they're flicking through the images amongst the people who organize the event, like your name's going to come up and rise to the top, because they're going to say, hey, Mary's photo made sure she delivered on her promise. So next year when we're here, we want to reach out to Mary's photos. You get it? So if you don't understand the business part about it, you just want to all be creative and just want to kind of live in the clouds at that point, it's great because you're probably going to deliver some amazing results, but there's nothing at all that shows that you know how to run a business. So I know this is a lot, but again, I'm just in the boat where I just wish somebody explained to me, because again, I was in this boat. I was the portion where I just delivered out the stuff. I didn't have a contract to say, hey, here's the images, here's the Dropbox link, hope you guys like it. And there was never any follow-up. And I did lose a lot of business from there. And I was also the one that just believed in the technical point of it. I could just keep explaining that to the client, and that's all they wanted. They just want to know how technical I could possibly be on this photo, when they only just really wanted like really nice photos. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. So I am Jay. I am a creative entrepreneur here in the Atlanta area, and I own J.August Media, and I pray that this actually helped you out in your photo and video journey. Make sure you like and subscribe, and send this to somebody that you know that's starting off a photo and video business, and they just need to know these things, because again, I really wish somebody would have taught me this when I first started my business years ago. But right now, this is what's helping me now. So until the next one, see you later. Peace.